Keep going. Pete, what chords are you playing?
Just an A minor and a G. Definitely got a lot hotter in here.
Can you hear me in here? Really? Okay. So I'm having some service issues. That channel output 1, 2 is not controlling you or any of the stuff. Because I have no GB guitar at all. I have 0. Yeah, I haven't the whole time. I've only have him and my drums.
What'd you just do? You just changed something for me. It's way louder now.
guitar
sorry,
once through that
sorry,
one.
sorry.
I couldn't hear your guitar once through that one.
Not
And
once?
I heard you the best I've heard you all night.
Well, we were playing pretty in sync there despite that.
We were pretty in sync too, but I was like, dude.
Did I blast you out on your guitar?
I'm taking these off for the rest of
Did it sound better?
for the rest of this jam session. We had something.
And sometimes it pitters and dies.
Yeah, Bobby. This is actually where, if the ears and everything were working, would be huge. That's just an excuse for having no idea what to do there.
What else did you want to go there?
5 more minutes of that.
5 more. I don't know if I can do them.
All right, that was way better to end on.
Yeah.
That felt good.
No, we started that one off hot.
Yeah.
Peter,
he didn't
welcome.
get a chance to introduce himself. All right, Pete. So we jammed a little bit before this. Before that, the only time I jammed with you was I didn't even know if it would count as a jam. I went with you to Cottonwood,
Right.
for you to go check out that amp that you got.
Yep.
Shout out
which
to
is
Cottonwood, by the way.
Shout out Cottonwood.
Yeah.
If you need any
100%.
guitars and amps, coolest store on the planet.
Yeah, the most cool, a lot of boutique stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim, who runs it, is just the least douchey guy ever. He's
Yeah.
just the nicest dude.
He's a real one.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, Pete. Tell us how long you've been playing, when you started.
Yeah, well, I mean, just off
All
your
that.
first comment, you're right. I think that's the first time I've ever really played with you. It was
Yeah.
at Cottonwood just for
Uh-huh.
a brief second. But yeah, pretty new to the whole jamming stuff. Feel like
Doesn't sound like it.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that was
But
great.
really
Pete.
haven't had the
Ripping.
opportunity
Good
to come
stuff.
in a studio or a warehouse like this and just kind of let loose on the amp. But I've
Right.
probably been playing for about 8 years now.
Nice.
I'd say I started going into high school. This is when I really started picking up the guitar and getting really into it. Just started going down a YouTube rabbit hole, and
Was that your go-to practice? Did you
Yeah.
ever have a teacher or no?
I think I did actually one lesson.
Okay.
One lesson, and I don't know, really cool guy, but just kind of wanted to do it on my own. And then I took a class too and had a teacher that ended up teaching me a lot of the
Nice.
fundamentals that helped. But
That's sick.
just had a lot of good roommates who taught me a lot of stuff, and
Nice.
of course YouTube as always.
Yeah. That's sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Well, Siege?
Right on. That was fun, guys. That was sick.
And I know, and we talked about this before, but you're a John Mayer guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's your go-to.
That is the go-to.
For those
I'm sure that's the answer for a lot of people, but yeah, literally got his guitar right here. Big
Yep.
fan,
Yeah.
of course.
The Silver Sky, that thing is very, very sick.
Yeah. I would say I started with him, kind of started hearing his stuff, and that's what really made me want to pick up the guitar. But
Right.
One of the best.
yeah, I mean, I think I was talking about you, or talking with this about you. I think I was
got
talking, yeah. I mentioned this earlier, but big fan of McGee lately.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's got some cool stuff coming out.
Nice.
That new album he dropped was pretty cool.
When did that come out?
I think it came out maybe earlier. Actually, I don't even know.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's a newer album, but I just started going through it, honestly, and he's
Right.
got some really creative stuff. Stuff that I feel like I've never heard before.
That's
So,
sick.
That's
feel like
good to
it's
find
hard-
something
yeah.
refreshing. Yeah, these
It's
days.
harder, like, it's just natural as time goes on, but especially now that, like, basically anyone can put out music, which is cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also means that it's so hard to have an original idea.
Yeah, well,
and
I
even
mean,
if you think you have one.
Exactly. That's
it's
the thing.
influenced by
That's the thing
something.
I like about him so much is like every day I find a new favorite song by
That's
him,
it.
and it's just
Mhm.
like every song is so different from each other, but
Right.
they're all so good. And I mean, when I pick up the guitar, I feel like I'm playing the same stuff over and over and
Yeah.
over. So it's cool to watch someone like.
That's like, I feel like
take a
that's
new
kind of how it
approach.
starts, though. Like
Yeah,
when you're jamming,
exactly.
like you play the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
and then it turns into something else, and you kind of just like, I don't
And
know.
It's
Yeah.
funny, to your point. It's cool too though when you listen to even your heroes and stuff. You can tell because everyone to some extent who plays an instrument, you love music, and I feel like you take stuff from your heroes and who you're influenced by, and it's sick. And like we were talking yesterday, even like your heroes, you can hear in their playing who they were influenced by
Right.
sometimes and stuff. Like we were talking, was it Wild Blue by John Mayer?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
solo in that song is straight out of a Knopfler handbook.
100.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you can hear the influence on some of these songs. that
it's
these guys are
super
coming out
cool.
with. Yeah.
So it's fun. Everyone's got their own
Yeah.
sound, and I think it's important to make it your own. But it's cool. You can always kind of hear people's heroes in the background. It's
Even
nice.
like just in this jam sesh, I feel like a great example was the second to last jam we did,
Yeah.
which was like, that's like my bread and butter, which is just like a really boring, simple, but with a bunch of space kind of
so
thing.
Yeah.
new to me though. I
And-
was so lost on
Yeah,
that.
it was hard. But then we went right into whatever this kind of groovy thing with the
Yeah.
Qtron, and it was literally like instantly, you just cooked it,
Yeah.
which in a good way,
No,
not a bad
that's-
way. It was a good cook.
That's how it goes. That's the fun part about jam sessions, I
Yeah.
think, is like not every song is going to be perfect out of
No.
them. And you're going to have some terrible moments, but you're going to have
Yeah.
some really, really cool highlights. And then
Right.
like it's about what you build off those highlights.
yeah, dude.
That's
Not
what-
everything's always gonna work,
Right, exactly.
and that's
Yeah.
the reality of what this is. So
Yeah,
that's the beauty and the rawness of this program.
correct.
Dude, well, I mean, I'm a big fan of this idea you guys got going on. Just these
Thanks,
jam
dude.
sessions, these live studio versions. I mean, these podcasts.
Yeah.
Big fan, and definitely stepping out of my comfort zone doing something like this. But
That's the
Yeah.
goal.
So
Glad
a
to
little
be
fact
here.
about Pete: this was the second time, technically, that you ever played while like recorded,
Right.
or even with your amp mic
Yeah,
up. And
I
the
mean-
first time was yesterday
Mhm.
for him.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, like, you killed it. Like, I feel like even playing with you is kind of funny. Like, I'm unfortunately aware that I'm not like the best guitar player. Like, I know what my strengths and my weaknesses are, but playing with you, like, your like technical abilities are really good.
Oh man, I
Like, it's really
appreciate
cool.
it.
Like, especially on that last one, like the way that you're able to kind of mix in, like you'll be playing a chord and you can mix in a lick really well. That's something I'm not very good at. So playing with you, like especially on that last jam, was so fun. Is you'd be playing whatever, that A minor, and then just hit like a little like and it was just perfect. So
Well, dang, bro, I appreciate
fired me up.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the first feedback I've ever gotten in a long time.
fired me up and made me super self-conscious.
Yeah, he sounded great. That really was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was a blast.
No, I mean, I'm the same way. I'm definitely not by any means the best guitarist, or
Right.
but like I definitely have the most fun playing for sure.
Yeah.
It's just fun to
Yeah.
pick it up and try something.
That's what it's all about, getting together with some people and having fun.
For
That's
sure.
what music's supposed to be at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
About expression and freedom and having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what's next for you, do you think? Like, what are your guitar goals? Like, are you trying to, I mean, obviously you're probably going to want to jam more, right?
Yeah.
Always. Everyone just wants to jam all the time. so
Jam
I
is
get it.
priority number one for me, quite
Yeah.
honestly. That's like my favorite part about the guitar is just playing with other people and feeding off their ideas, 100%.
Well, we'd have you whenever you want.
I
So
appreciate it. I'll be back as much as I can be.
Repeat offender Pete. That's a recycled
That
joke.
rolls off the tongue too well.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think you'll ever want to like record stuff?
Yeah,
Or is
I
that
mean,
down the line.
That's like a whole nother side of the game I really want to get into, but it's hard
Yeah.
to, is the production side,
Yeah.
especially when work is already, you're looking at a computer screen all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do want to get good at the producing side and, eventually come out with something I'm proud of, but I mean, it's hard to put it all together. And
Well, if you ever need help, I know a guy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard
pretty
though. It's I mean, we've been doing it for almost 3 years now, and
Like 3 or 4.
you saw us
really.
yesterday. We're still having issues every time we
Yeah.
set shit up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, so we originally
process.
recorded. We played with Pete yesterday, which was supposed to be this livestock session, but all the screws were loose.
technical
we
difficulties
couldn't
got in
get
the
the
way.
mix in
and
the ears right. In hindsight, it might have sounded fine, but it was just kind of like a unknown.
no,
So
it was awesome session.
This was so much
honestly.
better.
which
Yeah, this was,
which
this was, but-
we're aware that is breaking the rules of
technically that's
livestock.
breaking the rules of livestock. Because the idea is that it's just going to be completely raw, like, if we don't even know the person, just come in and do it. But
Which it was today. Everything was new today. We
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
practiced any of it, but
Yeah.
we did do it last night, the same thing, and
Interesting.
we had issues out of issues with
Yeah.
the gear. So
No, I mean, I thought it went really well, quite honestly. I feel like,
yeah, that was
I
fun.
mean, besides those audio issues,
Yeah.
it was cool just like getting to see breaking down your guys' style and,
Right.
and,
Yeah,
and how you guys play.
and that's something that in the grand scheme of thing, Garrett, more for you, that I'm excited about this project in general,
Yeah.
is getting in here with all these different people and like seeing everyone's different styles and
Yeah.
bringing in people from all different backgrounds. I think it's going to be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you guys this: what's next for you guys? Like, if you can say.
Well, we're gonna keep doing this, obviously. Hopefully, we can get more people. I feel like the first, I don't know, handful of these are gonna be people that we know.
Yeah, we
well,
played with and
like you, Pete, and whoever else. Hopefully, we'll get it to where there's people that we don't really know at all. We just know they can play and they come in.
mm-hmm.
And then on the music front, we're working on like just some solo project kind of stuff, and I think our band Aways is going to try to come out with we're recording something in March, right?
Yeah, so put
So-
out a record about 6 months ago
Yep.
with our band Aways, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately that kind of disbanded just because, as people do, we all moved away. Got one guy in Seattle, one guy in New York, but there's talks in the pipeline right now that
Mhm.
they're going to fly home and we're going to do a 1 week kind of power EP and just spend the whole week grinding and
Nice.
trying to get something out, something small.
Yeah, that
but-
would be awesome.
And then hopefully in the summer, TBD, get a bunch of shows on the books. But
Yeah, it's the plan.
for the meantime, our focus is this, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully, if anything out of this, you guys can, I don't know, gain a lot of inspiration or whatever
Yeah.
for new songs
the
or
idea.
originals or
And just have fun.
yeah,
Just,
and
have
just
fun.
have fun.
yeah,
amen.
give us a I don't know, pointed excuse and reason to do like a focused jam.
Yeah.
So
And get people's name out there too. Like, you, Pete, if anyone's listening, you need a fucking sick guitarist.
yeah,
Give Pete
we
a
got
call.
one right in front of us.
Yeah, it might need some work. You might need to dust some rust off, but
No,
he's in it.
just part of it.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else, Siege?
No, I think that's it. You got anything you want to say?
Yeah.
Just that it was an honor to be here with you guys today. Glad I got to be
Glad to have you.
on the series and can't wait to jam with you guys again.
That was a blast. I loved it. Well, hey, this was Livestock.
And that's it.
That's it. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Thanks, Pete. See ya.